Today we're looking into the family tree of King Agrippa II. His full original name was Marcus Julius Agrippa. He was sometimes just called Agrippa. He was the eighth and final ruler of the Herodian dynasty. Here we see his complex and disturbing family tree. We're going to shake this tree to see what we can learn from Agrippa's heritage. And what falls from the tree is horrifying. This is the worst family in the Bible. Ahab and Jezebel were Sunday school students compared with this family. Firstly, we come to the patriarch of the family, Herod the Great. He was half Jewish and half Edomite, Idumean. As far as the religious Jews were concerned, a half-caste, unclean dog, completely unfit to bear the title, King of the Jews. Herod the Great, in one sense, he was a visionary. He was a great builder. He was the one who built the beautiful temple and the Temple Mount, including the surrounding buildings that existed in the days of Jesus. But morally, he was corrupt to his core. He murdered anyone he thought posed a threat to his power, including killing close relatives. He's the Herod that killed all the babies of Bethlehem in an attempt to kill Jesus. This mass murder of babies was committed to solidify his position as king. What an evil man. He didn't want to deal with any baby usurper in the future. One of Herod's sons who survived his father's murderous ways was Herod Antipas, another nasty piece of work we glimpse in the Bible. He married his niece, Herodias, and wasn't she a piece of work? Prior to marrying Antipas, she was married to Philip, meaning her marriage to Antipas was adulterous. But worse still, Herod Philip was the half-brother of Herod Antipas. So not only was Antipas married to his niece, but at the same time, he was also married to his sister-in-law. And that's the reason John the Baptist condemned Antipas for taking Herodias as his wife. This is a really messed up family. But it gets worse. As it was Salome, the daughter of Herodias and Herod Philip, that asked for the head of John the Baptist. So Salome was not just the daughter of Herodias, she was the stepdaughter of Antipas and the great niece of Antipas. Is that confusing enough for you? This complex, ugly family web only gets worse as Salome and Philip the Tetrarch couple up. In other words, Salome marries her great uncle. And since Philip the Tetrarch is the brother of Antipas, Salome is now the grandniece of Antipas, the stepdaughter of Antipas, and the sister-in-law of Antipas, all at the same time. Which meant, here we go, Herod Antipas was not only married to his niece, Herodias, who was also his sister-in-law, but once Salome is married to her great uncle, Herod Antipas being married to Herodias technically means Herod's married to his stepmother. I kid you not. Now we move to Agrippa I, the nephew of Herod Antipas. Now please don't ask me how he's related to Salome. It's very complicated. Agrippa I was the king who allowed the people to proclaim him a god in Acts 12. And God sent an angel to strike him down, and he was eaten by worms. This occurred in AD 44. What a terrible family. Agrippa I is the brother of Herodias, the wife of two of his uncles. So not only is Herodias his full sister, she's also technically his auntie 2 times over. And Agrippa I is the very same man who imprisoned the apostle Peter and killed the apostle James simply to gain political favour. What an atrocious man. What a loathsome family. And one of his children was Herod Agrippa II, the very man we're looking at today and going to place on trial in our next study. You can see the shocking family that Agrippa comes from. He's the great-grandson of murderous Herod the Great. He had a sister named Bernice, and strong rumours swirled about the nature of their relationship. Siblings, yes, but also, it seems, an incestuous relationship had developed between these two. Having learned from their family tree, numerous of their ancestors had plotted and killed close relatives. Perhaps, in their perverted value system, a twisted love was safer than plotting death. Bernice also had a long-standing de facto relationship with Titus, the Roman general who sacked Jerusalem in AD 70. She lived with Titus, never marrying, till Titus became emperor of Rome. She was so immoral and so scandalized the upper class in Rome, who themselves were far from moral people, that Titus was compelled to send Bernice packing for appearance sake when he became emperor. This shockingly immoral woman, who apparently was extremely attractive, ran back into the arms of Agrippa. You might have noticed when Agrippa's name is mentioned in Scripture, it's often followed by and Bernice. Agrippa and Bernice tried to persuade the Jews not to revolt against Rome. When the Jews did ultimately revolt against Rome, Agrippa joined his forces with the Roman legions that sacked Jerusalem. They had another beautiful sister called Drusilla. She married the Roman governor Felix, the very man from Acts 23 and 24, the one who was scared by Paul's gospel preaching, the one who'd left Paul in prison for 2 years to gain political favour with the Jews. A very confusing, incestuous entanglement for a family tree. It's difficult to imagine anything good coming from such a ghastly family. So with this historical background laid before us, in our next study, we're going to investigate and put Agrippa on trial as we study Acts 26, starting from verse 1. Until then, may God bless you.